Hey, good morning, y'all. Welcome to lesson 1 for my social studies class. So what are we going to be doing? Well, by now you should have figured out how to get to the FVMS remote learning plan. And when you click up here and click on Lions in my class, it'll take you to my page. Over here, you can see the schedule that we're going to be using. These are the times that I'm going to be live. And if you want to join the live class, you're just going to click on this live class button. But let's go ahead and get started. I just kind of want to show you what we're going to be doing. Okay. So first of all, my expectations for the class are pretty simple. Okay. All I'm asking is, if you can, to log into the class on these specific days, depending on when you have class. So first period, for example, on Mondays and Wednesdays from 8:30 to 9:15. That's when I'm going to be live. Okay, I'm going to be talking about the lessons. I'm going to be going over some stuff. We'll be having some discussions, doing some GIM kits, doing some real interactive stuff, okay? But I understand not all of you can join live. You share a computer with multiple people in your house, or let's be honest, I know some of you are going to be struggling to wake up at 8:30 in the morning for my class. That's fine. If you can't join us, I'll be providing video lessons, but I'd really like to hear from all of you and see you live as much as possible, okay? If you cannot make it to the live class, okay, all of this stuff is going to be available on my Google Classroom, okay? I'll have a video lesson for you, and it's going to provide you with the stuff that you missed during the live section. You're also going to be asked to complete the assignments listed in Google Classroom as well, okay? So how will the actual class work? On my page for the FVMS remote learning site, I kind of lay out what I'm expecting for the day. Okay, so for example, today, or for lesson 1, I have my agenda over here. You can kind of see what's going on. You can see these are the learning objectives. This is what I expect you to be learning this week. Okay, and then down here, this is the classwork for the day. This is also going to be available in your Google Classroom as well, okay? So, how class is going to work again? The assignments I provide you are going to be in Google Classroom. Make sure you click the turn in button so I know that you've completed it, okay? At the end of each lesson, there's going to be a check-in. This is kind of like a 5 to 7 question little mini quiz. And this is what I'm going to use to see if you're learning the material. If you're not, then I'm going to reteach it. I'm not going to be punishing you if you do poorly on these things. I'm going to provide you with a grade, quote unquote. But this is not going to affect whether or not you pass or fail my class. The idea is I want you to attempt this stuff. I want you to be trying this stuff, okay? I'll be providing you with feedback on the assignments that we do. That way you can kind of see, oh, I did this right, or oh, I know what I need to do next time, okay? In PowerSchool, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the assignments in PowerSchool. I'm going to do a little check mark for each assignment that you turn in. That way you know if you're up to date or not, okay? The assignments shouldn't take you too long, maybe like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I'm not going to overload you with work. I know you got a lot going on right now. So this is really just to kind of keep your mind sharp and focused on social studies, okay? So when we do these Google Meets, when you join me for the live class or for my office hours, the big thing is the code is in the middle of my page. So it's going to be right here. It says live class office hours. Okay, this is where you're going to click for the live sessions. Okay, I'm never going to ask you to turn on your webcam. If you want to leave it off, you can definitely do that. I'm not going to make you turn your webcam on ever. You can if you want. If you want to show me something cool, that's very much up to you. Okay. And also an important thing, if you're not asking questions or if you're not talking directly to me, make sure you mute your mic. All that noise gets really distracting and can get really hard to focus, okay? So what we're going to be doing for this lesson is we're going to talk about the atomic bomb, okay? So we're going to finish up our World War II unit discussing the end of World War II and the atomic bombing of Japan, okay? So on May 8th, 1945, Germany has surrendered to the Allies. Okay, but the war is still going on in the Pacific. By June of 20 June 22, 1945, the Battle of Okinawa happens. And this is a really important battle because this is one of the first home islands of Japan. These are one of the original islands that Japan owned before the war even started. And so they were going to use this as a base of operations to plan for the invasion of Japan. And this planned invasion was known as Operation Downfall. The idea was that the Allies were going to invade Japan. And this was expected to take about 6 million Allied forces against the Japanese's 4.5 million soldiers and another 35 million civilians. So remember, the Japanese were willing to lay their lives down for their emperor because they believed in the divine right of kings. They believed that his voice was that of God's. So they were willing to lay down their life for the emperor, okay? And this was expected to be one of the bloodiest battles in the history of mankind. Millions of people on both sides were expected to die. And so the United States was really nervous about Operation Downfall, okay? And so there were these group of scientists in the deserts of New Mexico. They were involved in this thing called the Manhattan Project, okay? And now the Manhattan Project was this top secret plan to develop an atomic weapon. Okay, and so the way an atomic weapon works is you take atoms and you toss them at each other at incredible speeds, and it splits these atoms. And when the atoms split, it releases a tremendous amount of power. And the idea was they were looking for a way to weaponize that. Okay, and so they used nuclear fission to create an explosion. Okay, and on July 16, 1945, the United States tests the first atomic bomb, codenamed Trinity, in the deserts of New Mexico. And it was a huge success. And so they decided that they were going to use the atomic bomb as a way to defeat the Japanese instead of trying to invade the islands of Japan. Okay, so a couple of facts about atomic weapons is that they're typically measured their strength is measured in what we call kilotons of TNT, right? Dynamite, okay? So a kilo is 1,000. So the Trinity's bomb power was 22 kilotons, which was the equivalent of about 22,000 tons of TNT, which is hugely devastating in just one single weapon, okay? And so the Allies had come up with a list of places that they wanted to bomb in Japan. And they start dropping pamphlets over the Japanese cities to say, hey, look, we are going to start raining fire upon you unlike the world has ever seen. You need to surrender. You need to convince your emperor and your military leaders to surrender to end the war. And at first people were like, nah, that's crazy talk. And so on August 6, 1945, the U.S. drops the first atomic bomb on the city of Hiroshima. This was codenamed Little Boy, and it was a 15 kiloton weapon. So basically it was the equivalent of 15,000 tons of dynamite. Okay, and the bomb was dropped at 8:15 from an aircraft, and the bomb was detonated over the city. And the idea is they detonate these nuclear weapons over cities because they're more destructive. Okay, if it went off when it hit the ground would absorb most of that energy. Okay, and so this bomb detonates at 8:15 in the morning, kills 90,000 people instantly, and destroys the city. Okay, and so the Japanese high command to the emperor, they're like, whoa, that was crazy. And the Americans say, surrender, or we're going to continue this. And the Japanese say, no, we're not going to do that. So the Americans say, okay. And on August 9th, 1945, the U.S. drops a second atomic bomb on the city of Nagasaki. This one was codenamed Fat Man. And this was 21 kiloton weapon, so 21,000 tons of dynamite. Okay, and this one was dropped at 11:02 in the morning, and it kills 40,000 people. Now, it was more powerful than the first bomb, but because of the geography of the city, it killed fewer people, okay? So after this one, Japan says, okay, enough is enough, and they officially surrender to the Allies on August 14th, 1945. This is known as VJ Day, or Victory in Japan, okay? And World War II is officially over, but over the next few months, hundreds of thousands of people are going to die from radiation poisoning from these atomic weapons. And so what you're going to be seeing in the video that you're going to watch is you're going to see kind of the decision-making process on using the bomb, and you're going to see some of the effects of it. There's also an extra credit thing. On Friday, we're going to be doing a little debate when you don't have class time. I'll be posting the hours for that, and we're going to decide, was it appropriate for the United States to drop the bomb on Japan. Okay, was it right? Was it the right thing to do? Okay, there's a lot of arguments. Some people believe that it actually saved lives because remember, the invasion of Japan was going to take 6 million Allied forces and 40 million Japanese. So some historians believe, yeah, we actually saved lives. Where others felt like, well, Japan was going to surrender. There's no way that many people would have died. And I'm going to be presenting both sides of that argument to you, and you're going to be making your own choices, okay? So today what you're going to be doing is you're going to log into Google Classroom, okay? And the assignments are going to be posted for you in there. So what you're going to do, just follow the classwork directions down here, okay? These are the same directions that you're going to see in the Google Classroom, okay? And make sure when you're done, go ahead and hit submit. I'm going to give you kind of an unlimited amount of time to do this, but if you can get it done in like 5 days or so, these assignments aren't too terribly tricky. Go ahead and do that, okay? So if you need to get in touch with me, email me, okay? And my office hours for each day are right here, okay? So for example, Monday, my Google Meet is going to be on from 2 to 3. So if you need to come see me, click there, okay? And then these are the other days. Like I said, feel free to email me and ask me any questions that you have.